Team.
Welcome to Chicks and Tips. It's Jo here from MD Outdoors, and today we're talking all about disc golf and some tips to get you started with disc golf. So I've got my lovely guest Alex here today, who is one of our regular customers. He comes in a lot. He's been playing disc golf for a couple of years now. Very keen since you started.
Yeah, almost too keen, I think, sometimes. But
So we thought he'd be a great person to come and give us all a few tips to get us into one of the fastest growing sports in the world, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, it's growing really fast, especially COVID. There was a massive boom of disc golf because it was people getting outside, getting active.
Yeah. And I looked up that the first game I ever played the first time it was ever played was in 1926. It's been actually played for like nearly 100 years.
Wild. Yeah.
But it's only in the few recent years I feel like it's really kicked off.
Yeah, I think baskets, the development of the baskets had a lot to do with it. It made it more of a satisfying end to the hole, you know.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
That sound, that ching sound is... does something to your brain.
So just before we start, I thought it'd be good, just real quick, couple of sentences. What is disc golf?
So disc golf, similar in a way to ball golf, except your club and your ball is the frisbee. And then instead of a hole, you might have seen these metal baskets at certain parks around New Zealand or around the world, and thought, what the hell are those? Like I did not long ago. And yeah, that's the hole. And quite typically play 18 holes, the same as ball golf. It runs quite parallel in a lot of ways. Yeah.
And then, so for you, how did you get started with disc golf?
A friend just took me along down in Wanaka, Ely Point, a beautiful little 9-hole course. It wasn't an immediate hit with me, but like a lot of things, when you first start them, it can get under your skin. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that happened pretty quickly.
And then now you play all the time?
Now I play a lot. I probably average a couple of rounds a day.
Nice.
I think, yeah.
Oh, awesome. So we're going to get started with a couple of questions about if you're a beginner.
Yeah.
What's some of the biggest mistakes you see beginners make when they first start playing disc golf?
Probably starts a little bit with disc selection. So there are lots of different things and flight characteristics of the discs. They try to sum those up in these numbers that you will often find on the front of discs. Not always, but you will often find the numbers on the front of the discs.
There we go.
The biggest mistakes, I won't get into the flight numbers too much because it can really complicate things, but you don't want anything with too high of a speed number, which is the first number. Mm-hmm. And then you don't want anything with too high of a fade number, which is the fourth number. Because when you're first starting out, it'll be very difficult for you to get it very far.
Okay.
Just because it requires quite a lot of technique, quite a lot of power to get those any distance. So yeah, nothing over maybe 9 or 10 for speed, and then nothing over 2, I would say, for the fade number. That's probably one of the common mistakes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's lots of little technique things that people can. If you start out with the right technique,
yeah,
it gets you off on the right foot.
Mm-hmm.
But
is technique the biggest issue? Kind of when you're starting, not knowing quite how to throw it. Backhand and
it can be, but it can be really fun to just go and be terrible.
It is fun. That's me. I go and I'm terrible.
it's That's an initial thing. When you're going with friends, you have no idea. None of you have any idea what the hell you're doing, and it's a laugh to not be great. So that's not necessarily a mistake. As long as you're having a good time.
Yeah, that's all that matters. And then would you say, like, how many discs would you start off with as a beginner, or what discs would you start off with?
So there are several kind of starter packs that are pretty good to go with. They're decent because they will be exactly the sort of discs that are good for beginners. They might be slightly lighter weight, but yeah, they won't be anything that is too high speed, too high fade, anything that's too difficult for a beginner to throw. They will often be quite a good value option.
Yeah.
Normally 3 or 4 discs for like a reduced rate to what you would maybe buy the discs individually for, and they will do you just fine.
Yeah. So one distance driver, one fairway, one mid range, and one putty.
Normally it will be a lower. Yeah, it will be a. Normally it's like a fairway driver. It will be a mid range and a putter normally, because distance drivers, like I say, they're not easy for beginners.
Yeah. So being more technical.
A little bit.
Okay. I'm learning so much. I'm a very, very beginner with my disc golf. Cool. So what would you say your top tips are for beginners then, for people getting started?
Well, definitely in the local area, I would say going to the right courses that you can still enjoy as a beginner is good. The easiest for which is Isle Park.
Okay.
That, if you translate it to ball golf, would be like a little pitch and putt type course.
Oh, that's my problem. That's where I should have been going.
Right, there you go. Very short holes, and yeah, really accessible. Also not too long. It's a 7-hole course. So if you're really beginner and 18 holes seems really daunting, then Isle Park is great. If you've had a crack at Isle Park, you need more. You need further distances. Branford is the next one down the Mai Tai Valley. That one is also quite accessible, but that next level up in terms of challenging. We've also got 3 other really amazing courses in the area, but yeah, unlock those, I think, like in a video game, once you've completed the first 2 and are happy with those.
Yeah. Okay. And the other ones being.
The other ones being Saxton.
Yeah.
That's at the sports complex there. You've got Redstone, which is beautiful little private course. That's on a golf course past Wakefield. And then Nelson Tasman Disc Golf are working hard on developing one at Rabbit Island, which has come a long way. Thanks to the hard efforts of a lot of people in the club.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I've not played it yet, but everyone that has says it's brilliant, but really hard.
It's probably one of the most challenging courses that you'd ever play.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In New Zealand?
In New Zealand, potentially in the world. It's the goal behind it is to have it as the hardest course in the area, because we have the other difficulties kind of installed in the area.
Yeah.
The goal was to make it really tough initially, and then what the plan is, I believe, still is to install shorter pad placements and shorter basket placements to make a more accessible version of the layout.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So if you're trying to find and work out which courses are more beginner friendly, how would you find that?
So there's UDisc, which is a really valuable tool, especially when you're starting out.
That's an app.
That's an app, and that is free. There is a pro version, but when you're starting out, there's a wealth of information on there about courses and things. It's also helpful because if you don't know the area, if you don't know the course, you can load up a round on UDisc, and it'll tell you exactly where to go for the holes. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. And then, so you can use that across New Zealand, I'm assuming?
You can use that across the world.
Across the world?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then what's your favourite course, would you say? Either in Nelson or
So
New Zealand?
I think I'm always going to have the softest spot for Branford, which is where I sort of played the most, and probably still do play the most, because it's accessible, both in terms of where it is and the ease of learning there. So like that's always going to be kind of the one that's right here.
Yeah.
But there's some really amazing courses that I've played. Rabbit Island, it's tough, but it's gonna be one of the best for sure.
Yeah. Oh, cool. And then if you wanted to progress more in disc golf, so you've started out, you've had fun with your mates, and then you're like, oh, I just want to learn more about the sport. Like, what are some different ways that you suggest to help people improve?
Playing some rounds with other people in the local area. There's a club. It's very easy to organise rounds with other people. You could either join a casual round with people, or we have sort of very casual, kind of anyone's welcome league nights on a Tuesday evening. That's at Saxton, so that's a slightly more challenging course. And also Branford on a Thursday. If you want to develop your skills sort of other than that, there's some YouTube pages that you can go on that teach the form basics, and that will get you off to a really good start.
Is there anyone particular that you look at on YouTube?
Yeah, I was looking at this in prep for today. There's a couple of really good videos by Overthrow Disc Golf. They're like a coaching business, but they put a lot of stuff on YouTube. And there's also some older videos of a player called Simon Lizotte when he was with his previous disc brand. I think if you're going to try and follow anyone's footsteps to be good, he's one of the best. So.
Ah, cool. There we go. Some really useful tips of ways that you can get your skills up. I'm going to go take a look for myself. Just on the socials, there's a women's social as well, isn't there?
Women's social is
Glow Night in the winter.
Yes, so in the winter we have Glow, and then there's a social for women specifically, and that is on a Tuesday at Branford.
Cool.
You can get all the information for these on the Nelson Tasman website, nelsontasmandiscgolf.co.nz.
Oh, perfect, thank you. Because it would definitely be good to get more women into the sport, because there's definitely,
absolutely,
whenever I've played, it's not many women out there.
Sausage fest.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. I feel like that's probably all we've got time to chat for.
That's
today.
perfect.
So
I think
Alex.
I think too much information is going to be too much.
Yeah, unless there's anything else that you want to add.
Not really. Go throw and have fun.
Yeah, just go and enjoy it. It's so much fun just to get out there and do it. What I love about it is really accessible. Once you've bought your disc, you don't need anything else. Yeah. That's all you need. Everything else is free, so it's great to go out with friends or family. We sell quite a lot of discs here, and we always know as soon as we get a new batch, people that play a lot of disc golf come in and add a lot more discs to their collection.
People are going to be rifling.
Yeah. But we also hire discs out here too, which is really cool to see lots more people, like tourists and stuff, coming through.
That's such a valuable tool. You know, I've mentioned that to a few people who you see, and maybe they're throwing a big ultimate disc like an Ultra Star.
Oh, yeah.
Saying, go to
That's
MD.
me.
They can hire out some discs for you.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Thank you so much,
All
Alex,
good.
for
Thank
coming
you.
in. That was so informative.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Have a great day, everyone, and we will see you next Tuesday for the next Chicks and Tips. All right. Bye.
Bye.